Welcome to the Private Listed Interview Series. I am your host, Keemie, and today we have with us your favorite rapper's favorite rapper who writes all of your favorite raps. Cyhi is in the building with us. Now, before... applause. He has blessed us with his lyrical excellence today, and he may not know this, but he's like one of my favorite rappers. I think that you're super duper talented, and it annoys me that everyone doesn't scream and know your name.
Right.
So, but before we go any further, I do want to clarify your name. Is it still Cyhi the Prince, or it's just Cyhi now?
Well, I'm just, it's evolving. I grew up as Cyhi the Prince because my rap buddies call me Cyhi, but my girls used to call me Prince when I was younger, so it's just Cyhi the Prince.
I heard you.
And then I'm moving into Cyhi, and then eventually I'll be, my name.
What's your
My
name?
name is Sidell Young.
Oh, so are you planning on moving into Sidell Young?
Yes.
Nice.
As an author, screenwriter.
Oh, you do everything.
Director, absolutely.
So have you always written?
Yes, since I was a kid. Mm-hmm.
So then, I never heard the story about how you were discovered. Like, what made you start rapping or writing or even getting into the music industry?
One of the stories of Mr. EGOT.
Tell us about Mr. EGOT.
No, as a kid, I was I wasn't a good reader. Would let my teachers tell it. So I was just like, advocate about, improving in that, area of my life. So I just started writing poems. And I started writing them to girls, and then it just turned into rap.
Nah.
And then it just flourished into, one of the best songwriters in the world.
Heard you. Okay, so would you say women were your main inspiration?
Yeah, but I would say my teachers was first, and then I would say some females growing up. Well,
were the teachers inspiration, or were they like motivation for you to do better?
Motivation.
Okay. Yeah. Alrighty. So then, but what about getting into the music industry? Like, how did you get that push to get in? Like, how did you finagle your way in, or how did you start? Because I don't know. Like, one day we were just listening to Kanye, and then we just heard about Cyhi. Like, where did that come from?
Well, a lot of people don't know. Like, when I was growing up, I was actually in a rap group, right? In my rap group, we had like 6 deals on the table, but I was part of a street crew as well, and they didn't want me to bring my street crew with me. They just wanted me. So it was like, back then, I've been like, supposed to have been in the music industry way before I met Kanye. Mm-hmm. But I just couldn't because I had this kind of like so-called quote-unquote baggage with me. Mm-hmm. So I kind of like had to figure out how to separate from that and then be able to move forward. So by the time y'all see me with Kanye, it was kind of like a blessing for me at that point because I've been through so much just trying to, throughout the streets and music, trying to like become a solo artist,
What was the name of the group that you were with?
So I was in a group called Hoodlum. We was signed to Noonie and Jazzy Faye back in 2002, like 02 to like 04. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Well, who told you needed to get rid of the baggage? I don't know if they used
that
exact term.
I was, Clyde Davis, the L.A. Reeds,
So you ran the gambit, is what you're saying, because you've been through everyone.
Yeah, we had 6, like, that was the thing, but I was, like, prolific back then. But, it made sense because it's like you don't want to have to house and travel 6, 7 different people every time you go somewhere, and this is the guy we mainly want in some of your, because I was just, head over shoulders of like, I was really locked in versus my friends was kind of doing it like, oh, we want to be rappers. I was like, zero.
This is what I want to do.
Yes,
this is what I
and
need
I
to
think, do. At that time, labels seen that, they're like, okay, well, we just signed this one guy and let him bring, that was the Saint Lunatic way of doing things at that time.
Yeah, well, Saint Lunatic, G-Unit.
Yeah, G-Unit, yeah.
Murder Inc. There was tons of different rap crews, right? Mm-hmm. And then they found placement for the guys within the entourage, right?
But see, a different thing with me was like, in the streets, I wasn't like the leader. I was like one of the guys in the entourage. But in music, I was the leader. Okay. So it was hard to like tell my guys like...
to make that
transition because, I was just a foot soldier at that point.
Oh, but pen wasn't the foot
Yeah,
storage,
my
right?
pen was
Your pen
King
was
Arthur.
there we go. Alrighty, so tell me about your times like growing up in Atlanta. What influenced you to even not just start rap, but to take it seriously? To say, okay, this is what I'm good at. This is what I'm gonna do. Even with the maybe the trepidation that you had from school or just transitioning from being in the street, being in a group, and then say, okay, I grew up in this place, but I want to make it worthwhile coming from here and being a rapper. How do I put my name forward?
Well, I think really I rapped out of frustration because I had got kicked out of school. I got kicked out of the house, so I was just mad.
You got kicked out of school and the house?
I
What'd you
think that's
do?
why most rappers rap. They won't say that.
Uh-huh.
We just wear our pain and our trauma so well that, we just go on the mic and just be, you know what I mean? But it's really out of like, most niggas wanted to be athletes and basketball players and successful and go to college and
Did you want to do those things?
absolutely.
Okay.
I believe most young black men want to do that. It's just when they sit us in this classroom, church-like environment, that just ain't built for niggas with melanin and testosterone and ideas and creativity. We got to move around. We got to paint. We got to draw. We got to dance, rap against each other. That's how we learn.
Right. We have to be free.
Yeah, this European way, American way of just sit in the classroom and...
But do you think that, I don't know if it's just the American way, do you think that they impose those things strictly on black children, whereas we have a militarization of how we teach them? Sit down, don't move, read this one book, stay here.
I think it's just the less melanated people can do that. But when your spirit is boiling every day you wake up, it's hard to sit there and just... You know what I mean? Just sit there and just learn something that you feel like ain't... Like, everybody who learned something from my school don't look as good as me. Everybody who went to college ain't got as much money as me. Ain't got as much motion as me. So, I used to tell I just had this conversation yesterday. I was like, man, I was a bad kid. I was telling my mom, but then I was like, Mom, I just didn't want my friends to learn that when I was in school. I didn't want them to be indoctrinated into... the robot employee, go to work for 40 years.
Not saying that there's anything wrong with that. Some people have to take that route. But not everybody is as gifted as you. Right? Did you always know that you were gifted?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when teachers were frustrated with you because you weren't reading at the pace that that they wanted you to, how were you able to just block it out and be like, well, I know what I have?
I mean, it's hard to explain to somebody that you Jesus' little nephew.
Why?
I mean, a lot of people don't believe. You don't see Jesus, do you?
No.
So you got to have faith in it, right?
Right.
But imagine seeing somebody that's related to him.
Okay.
And you tell them that's mine. It's like, what are you talking about? Go to the principal's office. Okay, well, send me there.
Well, that's how rap comes in, right?
Yeah.
Because you get to be, we say braggadocio, right? But you get to kind of like flex your feathers a little bit and say, well, I am Jesus' nephew. I have that God flow. I know that I can do what I want to do, even if you can't see it. Is it hard? So like now when you move into the music business now, right? We know your talent. Is it harder for you to have to sell it to the new influx of fans that we have coming into rap or hip hop?
I mean, if you look at it's a two-part question. Rap is a manifestation art form. Most artists rap about things they want to have, and in 6 months they'll have it.
Okay.
If they want to go to prison, you can have that in 6 months too. If you want to die in 6 months, you can have that in 6 months too. Or if you want to say you got a Lamborghini and you don't got one, you're going to have one in 6 months. That's what rap does. It's the power of the tongue.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's speaking it into existence. You get what I'm saying? So that's my biggest thing. I think with me in music and just in general, I think I was just that kid that, looked at it as, like I said, I was frustrated, but I started using it as a tool to kind of move through life and meet other people. And I just became here. I forgot the second part question that you asked me though.
Well, how do you convince fans to come along with
Oh,
you?
I think it's just being authentic, being yourself. You know, fans, I had to dumb myself down for the world.
Huh.
Because niggas have tried to kill me for this talent multiple times.
Tell me about that. Because
I'm
I heard
just
some
saying.
stories.
I've been dealing with that since I was a kid, though. I've been getting jumped, beat up everywhere I go just because of talent. So
Is it because people don't understand you?
Nah, it's just if I really showed you how powerful I am, a nigga want to kill you.
Why?
You don't see they hung that man up there on that cross?
But they didn't believe him.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But he was turning water into wine. He was feeding motherfuckers with 2 fish, nigga, 2 loaves of bread, nigga, the whole village. Like, he ain't hit him stuff. Like, nigga giving sight to the blind. Who the fuck is this nigga? You know what I'm saying? We got to go take this nigga out. That's how I was. In real life, though. So.
What is it that you wanted them to believe? That you were that person, or
that he was that person.
Ah.
I just look like this. I'm just a nigga from wherever, Atlanta, wherever the case may be, but I just, as a kid, I just always used to be able to, like, stop gang fights, you know what I'm saying, galvanize people, make people follow me, shit like that, and it just started becoming too powerful. I damn near knew magic.
I think you do know magic.
Oh, yeah.
I do. Because you're able to, I think you're able to use your words to transition people to a place.
That's why I have to be a writer. That's why I made people put me, because it's like, if we put him at the forefront, it's just like, he's going to end up being who the second coming, or the third, let's say the third coming.
So when you say I had to be a writer, do you feel like you're trying to dim your star in order to make other people look good?
Unfortunately.
Why?
I mean, I wouldn't be here that long. I mean, I could do it now because I feel like I done made enough allies where now I can kind of come out my shell. But early on, it was just like every week or two, a nigga was just threatening me. Like, you know what I mean? So I had to, like, figure out how to finagle that.
Can we talk about some of the people that you write for or that you create for?
Everyone.
Name some.
I mean, I work with the person who pushes the culture the furthest, so.
I mean, we know that person. Well, are we able to speak about that?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, if you don't know, Cyhi is probably the biggest contributor and creative behind Ye. You have writing credits on Dark Fantasy, right?
Yeah.
Were you also on Donda?
Everything from Dark Fantasy moving forward.
We didn't know if you did Yeezus. We were actually looking, and I wasn't sure. So I said, I'll ask you about it. You were there for that. And right now you're still working on...
And not just music.
But everything.
Yeah, spiritually, creatively, architecturally, if that's a word. You know what I mean? Like...
Wait, so were you responsible for the teeth, too?
Nah, but I got some new teeth, too, so he might have been inspired. You know what I'm saying? Sure.
Okay.
But nah, I ain't gonna take all the credit. He is who he is.
How is it working with him? We know that he has
the most incredible thing ever.
Okay. Are you able to spread your wings the way how you see fit?
Yeah.
No, you took a pause there. What's some of your limitations then?
I mean, like I said, we're X-Men, so if Cyclops take off his glasses, he gonna burn this whole motherfucker down. That's his full self. Okay. So sometimes I have to keep my glasses on so I can have control of. That's why I say I can't. You know what I mean? I'm a full-fledged mutant.
Okay. So so X-Men is one of my favorites.
For sure.
That's a good analogy to give. What about so we know that you work with Ye. Is there anybody else that you work with that we should be taking notice?
Okay, well, first of all,
I know that there's Pusha T.
Yeah, I'm from the I work from where everybody pulls from.
Okay.
So I wrote for everybody.
Okay.
Because that's the main vessel, everybody. That's the library of creativity. It's Kanye West.
Okay.
My bad. Yay. We don't
Gotcha.
do Kanye West no more.
No, got it.
We do Yay.
We do yay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
But I know, you know what I mean? I know formerly known as, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But,
we got to do it the right way.
yeah, but that's the vessel. That's the vessel to me that God uses in this time of our lives, in this moment in history.
Do you sometimes wish you could be more at the forefront now instead of just being the writer?
Did y'all love Basquiat when he was alive and when he was dead?
They are just appreciating him over the past 5-6 years. So
I don't get to choose when my blessing comes.
why not? Yes, you do.
Not when you work. See, sometimes you can receive a blessing from God, or when you work for God. It's two different things.
Okay.
I work for God. I don't wait on Him to give me a blessing. So I do what He tell me to do, and then however the blessing come, that's when it come.
Okay.
You know what I mean? A lot of time in our culture, in our not just our culture, just as people, we try to dictate when our blessings gonna come. Oh man, I should have had it right here. No. I know niggas who had it right here and lost it.
And they didn't appreciate it.
And didn't appreciate it. So, you know, it come when it's supposed to come.
Do you listen to newer music?
I mean, I hear it, but I don't listen.
I don't listen.
Because it's a difference. I know people who listen to music and they end up sounding like the music they listening to. I don't sound like the music I listen to. I am the music I listen to.
So, okay. I had to think about that for a second.
Yeah.
So then...
I'm not influenced. I am the influencer.
Heard you. Alrighty. Well then, normally...
Talk to me, sister.
When we have rappers on, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Especially because, like, we meet a lot of people who are from New York. And hearing you say, like, I hear things, but I don't really listen to it. So what did you do when you were younger? Did you...
Now, when I was younger, I went through the gauntlet. I
Okay.
went through my training camp. I went through my boot camp.
There we go.
Yeah.
What was your training camp like? Who were the artists that were in your rotation that you listened to?
So the artists that I listened to growing up so it was a different thing. So growing up, from Atlanta, so I heard 3 6 Mafia, I heard Player Fly, your Outkast, your UGKs, your MJG 8 Balls. That's what I Trick Daddy. That's what I grew up on. Then when I started studying music, it was Nas, Jay-Z, Grand Poobah, Big L, you know what I'm saying? Big Daddy Kane, different shit like that. I would just go back to like knowing the history of it. Then it started coming in like the DMXs and the Eminems and that kind of vibe, Cypress Hills, etc. Now it's like I don't listen to nobody. Like I will hear your song. Like I'll give a Drake album a listen. I mean, I go play it through a couple times, be like, okay, that's what he on, okay, or Lil Baby or whoever the said artist is. I'm like, okay, that's what he on. I like that. I fuck with that song. But I'm just not there because it's like you'll end up sounding like the artist that you listen to. So I just try to not to listen too much.
Do you think that when you were studying, right? Because initially you say 8 Ball, MJG, legends in the game, right? UGK, another set of legends. What made you, after you went through those, right? What made you venture out? Because I always talk about like how we are kind of like regionally biased sometimes, and especially like I don't know if Atlanta has the same thing. Whereas you just listen to people who are near and around.
Right.
But what made you then say, okay, these people are all right. I like these guys. I like how they rap. Let me move over to Nas. Let me move to Big L.
So what happened was I'll tell you a brief story. I was writing poems to a girl, and one of my buddies heard one of the poems I wrote because the teacher took the letter I wrote and read it out loud. I think she was making fun of somebody in the class that wasn't paying attention. But I had sent the letter through somebody. I wasn't even in the class. So my buddy heard it when she read it out loud. Like, man, you ever thought about rapping? That shit was hard that you wrote the old girl.
Okay.
And I was like, nah, I play football or whatever the case may be. I run track. And then he was like, man, you should try rap. So he kind of like showed me how to put my poems. His name is John. He from Philly. He kind of showed me how to put my poems together. And then he would rap me. He would rap me his raps, but he would also rap other rappers' raps to me to show me like this
Rhyme
how dope,
scheme.
scheme and different things like that. But as a youngin, I didn't know that because this is tape era.
Oh, okay.
This is before the internet. So I'm thinking these just his raps from a 12-year-old, and I'm like, damn, this nigga head over here. Yeah, this nigga's a genius. Not knowing they was like Jay-Z raps, Nas raps, that type of level. So it was like, I went home, I was like 8th grade. I went home that summer and just tried to get to his level. And actually, I was competing with not only him,
but those people.
And that was
without knowing.
Lyricist of the year. So by the time I came back, I was dope, but I ain't let nobody know it. I was still playing sports. But then it was an influx of New York people coming to Atlanta back in those days. And I'm from Stone Mountain. That's kind of where they moved to. And they was in our school just destroying shit in the end of the hallway.
Just
every rap battle, I was tired of the Timberland niggas talking shit. No disrespect. And I just was like, you know what I mean? These my buddies from Atlanta, they just getting destroyed. They laughing at us. And once I got in the cypher, it was no more laughing.
Because you took it seriously.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I developed my style. My style is made to destroy a New York nigga.
I like that we set the bar
For
and that
sure.
you have to, and that we are who you have to beat.
Yeah, back then for sure. Like them niggas was like 15, 16, sound like they were 25-year-old men.
Yeah, I mean, think about Biggie, right? Like, sometimes when I think back on it, because obviously we were little kids at the time.
That nigga was a kid.
He was a kid. He died at 23.
Tupac was a kid, bro. That nigga was
child.
your age, bro. They were 24, 23. No, but they was writing their songs at like 18, 19.
Illmatic came out when Nas was 19. He was recording that from when he was like 17, 18.
Come on, man. That man sound like a full-fledged philosopher, scholar. Absolutely. Them aliens. Them is mutants.
They're not mutants. Well, I mean, I don't want to ascribe something else to us because we are great in and of ourselves and the God within us. So I'm not going to say that we are anything else besides us. I know that we're like...
Those are just synonyms of what a God is.
know.
You know what I'm saying? An extraterrestrial higher being. A lot of times, they made it with, an animal and created a human. You know what I mean? So that's where humans come from. I know that you write for everyone, and we use the analogy of the tree, right?
Where everyone comes from and the source. Do you ever want to, who do you want to collaborate with that you haven't collaborated with already?
Who do I want to collaborate with I haven't collaborated with? Like, as far as an artist or a writer?
Anything. Both. It can be anything, because you're a creative, right?
To me, I wish I was around Kodak Black.
Oh.
Like, I want to take our young generation that has
Do you
that
want to
potential.
groom him?
Yeah.
Yes. Like, you want to mold, you want to...
I don't want to take him away from his people, but it's like, bruh, this my favorite little nigga, man. Y'all keep getting my little nigga locked up, bruh. Like, sometimes the streets are just like... The streets is a good and bad thing, bruh. It's a good to have an experience. It's good. It's almost like military for black brothers. It's like, how you go do the service. Like, in Israel and certain countries, you gotta...
You have to enlist.
Enlist in the military just to have that experience. But I think that's what it is. But the streets never let us graduate. We never get to graduate from military school. It's like you got to be in that motherfucker till you're 50, 60. like, bro, let me graduate, bro. I've been out here for 20 years, man.
Well, so let's use Kodak Black as an example, right? he has a sound,
Mm-hmm.
and he clearly knows how to connect
Mm-hmm.
with people, right? How would Cyhi not just engage with him, but how would you groom him to be, or make him turn into the flower that you want him to be? How would you let him bloom?
I mean, first I think it's just through conversation.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's through conversation. That'll be first one, because that's how any artist I work with, I got to talk to you for like a couple days just to see what you want to talk about, where your mind at, how you grew up, kind of like what you're doing. I
Right.
interview them in
Right.
so many words. Then I'd be like, okay, I call a few producers, like, okay, he on this, he need this type of vibe. His spirit is here.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I would try to do is like have him focus on true storytelling to be able to give his plight, but also give a conclusion, or
To make it into a story.
yeah, or give it some kind of positivity to how did it really affect you through that, and what's your end game, or what's your end goal, or what's the blessing or the treasure at the end of the rainbow. And I think a lot of time we get caught up on just like the braggadocious, look what I overcame kind of vibe, and we don't have that humbleness to be like, this destroyed me, this trauma came from this, I lost this from this, I did this from this, and then give that lesson and conclusion of, this is what can happen with you, and this is how I, overcame it, or etc., or whatever the case may, the end of the song sound like, or the end of the album. So I think once I get you to tap into that, I feel like it starts to permeate throughout your life. You know what I mean? And then you start listening to your own raps. Your own raps almost become your therapy. You know what I mean? So I think that's what I would try to do.
Do you think that, not just him, right? Just this generation in particular, in how they consume music or how they consume art, would they be able to receive your guidance or anyone's guidance? Because like even now, like we still need A&Rs, but I don't think we utilize them the way that we should. We still need
A&Rs is important. That's the first step.
That's the first step. That's
like
the most
labels
important thing.
labels invest in artists and don't invest in the A&R. The A&R is more important than the artist.
Yes, I think that they're probably the integral piece to the puzzle.
Yeah, but they be hiring like weirdos, like nerds and geeks. Like, bruh, you gotta hire somebody who's actually from that, that understands music, but also understand where the artist coming from, and then also understand the producers, and understand how to put all that together. You know what I mean? So I think A&Rs is the lost art of what the music industry was.
Completely.
And we need gatekeepers.
Oh.
Yeah, we need gatekeepers, bro.
Well, gatekeeping is kind of out the window now because of social media and because of TikTok and because of how people consume music. I mean,
Burger King and McDonald's on every corner too, but I eat Ruth Chris. I eat 5-star Michelin. You know what I'm saying? You can keep taking your bitch to Burger King, but when I pull up and take her to this motherfucking, this Nobu motherfucker, she ain't gonna want to go back there. But that's what music is like.
But I mean, no. That's a good analogy because I went out before, right? Like, well, obviously we all go out, but like I've been out and I like a certain type of food, right? But then I have a friend with me who's like, "What are those little eggs on top?
Right?
Why are we eating raw fish?
Right?
Why is this good? Like some people don't like the texture. They're not exposed to it. They can't conceptualize why this is good and why we should be eating, or like why we should be drinking chlorophyll in our water, why we should just be drinking tea with no sugar or any additives to it.
Right.
Some people do want the fast things. How do we move the pendulum from everyone just taking things that are ready-made and from McDonald's to getting them to a Ruth Chris?
Gatekeepers. But you know the form of a gatekeeper?
They've done away with the gatekeepers. But
you know the form of a gatekeeper?
Tell me.
Let me tell you something. And this is how it happened to me. A rich street nigga pull up on you and say, baby, get in this Rolls Royce, let's go out to eat. You ain't asking him to take you to Burger King. And if he take you to a 5-star restaurant, you better not order no chicken fingers and fries. You gonna be embarrassed to order chicken fingers and fries with a nigga who got on $300,000 worth of jewelry on and got this Hermes shit on and this Tom Ford shit on. You gonna try to read that menu just to impress him.
But there's I don't want to say.
But
ignorance.
he is the gatekeeper of your neighborhood. So let's move that into the music industry.
Okay.
The A&R that you trying to impress, he gonna take you to that nice restaurant. You ain't gonna order that low level, low vibration meal.
Not low vibrations.
You gonna try to, you know what I'm saying? Like think about this. I use music, and let's use NBA. NBA has gatekeepers. Okay, growing up, niggas wanted, when I said labels wanted me by myself, right?
Right.
Now, I used this analogy with my homies back in the day. I said, bro, if the Atlanta Falcons wanted to draft me, you want me to tell Arthur Blank, I can't come play unless you draft my whole neighborhood?
Right.
He would have said, thank you, sir. The door's right there. Bring in the next athlete.
Come on.
You get what I'm saying? Because it's gatekeeping. You got to be able to meet these standards of what we trying to do here. This ain't no fucking free-for-all. It's, what, 400-500 players, if that, in the NBA. That's the actual team and the G League. You know what I mean? Nigga knew how to play basketball growing up. But you didn't meet the standard. You didn't pass the gatekeepers, checklist.
Okay.
That's why Kevin Durant can get paid $150 million over 3 years. Now imagine if it's 50,000 players in the NBA. You think they can afford to pay Kevin Durant $150 million?
No.
So a lot of people don't know. It's like $450 million that we split up on Spotify, between Spotify. I don't give a fuck if music made $4 billion that year.
Mm-hmm.
The only amount that we give me out from Spotify is $450 million. You niggas split it up. So you gotta think Taylor Swift gonna take 5%. Adele got a 5%, Paul, SZA, Kanye, Drake.
Yay.
You know what I mean? Yay. Those people. Then the rest of us, 7,000 artists in America is fighting over 50% of 450 million. Man, what's 7,000? How many times 7,000 or 20,000 if you add UK artists and Afrobeat? Them 20,000 artists on Spotify. We all fighting over what, 200 million? How many times 20,000 going to 200? That's pennies.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, you need gatekeepers because now you don't have 20,000 artists. Now you only have, it's an exclusive club. It's only 1,000 artists. Now this 450 million makes sense. But it don't make sense when it's 30,000 people fighting over 450 million. That ain't enough money. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? So the reason why we need gatekeepers is so everybody can't come in the club. The fire marshal got to come at some point and be like, okay, y'all, too many niggas in here, all right? You know what I mean?
But, so, I completely understand what you're trying to say.
Right.
But I think what the root issue is that we don't have the gatekeepers. And I think that because of how we consume music now,
mm-hmm.
it's difficult for us to implement gatekeepers. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. Mm-hmm. So when I looked at your, before I interview somebody, right? Mm-hmm. Even if they're my favorite artist, right? Let's say, so I love Pusha T,
mm-hmm.
right?
Me too.
When I think of him, I say, I hate that he doesn't get the respect that he deserves.
Mm-hmm.
And I look and I say, okay, well, what does he use to his advantage?
Mm-hmm.
Recently, like this week, probably by the time that this interview airs, this will be older, because the news cycle is almost clicking. He recently walked in the Louis Vuitton show. I was like, okay, at least his face is out there. Mm-hmm. He walked, even though people are making fun of how he walked in the show, mm-hmm. the fit was crazy. Mm-hmm. We can always take something away from it. Mm-hmm. Okay, what else is he doing? Okay, no album out right now. What else can we do?
Pusha T rich as fuck.
Yeah, but
okay,
still.
I just want to put that out there.
No, but we know. We know.
Okay.
Okay? It doesn't, but that's not that's not what we need from him right now.
What you need from him?
I want people to respect him the way how he should be respected.
You don't think
And
he respected like that?
I think so among a certain crowd, right? But is he getting as many streams as someone that isn't as lyrically gifted? That hasn't put as much work in as he has?
Like who?
I can't say who.
Oh, you can.
I mean, who's someone that's uber successful right now? We could say Drake, right?
Okay.
Drake is super duper successful.
You would say the nemesis of him.
Of course. I mean, that's the first person that I could think. I would say the nemesis,
for sure,
right?
For sure.
Do I think that he is as...
Okay, can I say something? I know what you're trying to say.
Right, okay.
All right. I'm going to break this down to street terms.
Go ahead.
Cocaine, you got to sell a lot of. Heroin, you don't got to sell that much of.
Okay.
A nigga have a brick of heroin, one brick of heroin will be like equal to like 20 bricks of cocaine. It's just how you want to sell it. You can sell it in quantity or you can sell quality.
Right.
But if I charge you 100 for a dime or for like, a gram of heroin, or, you know what I mean, you might have 100 grams for $100 of cocaine. So it's like, it all fluctuate. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? Okay, I see what you're saying. Maybe Drake isn't the good example that I'm trying to use here because...
you're saying what you're supposed to say, but what I'm telling you is you can have a mom and pop store that make just as much money as a franchise. But this franchise got to sell multiple things, and it got to keep working hard. Well, Chick-fil-A, we ain't open on Sunday.
Yeah.
And we make just as much money as McDonald's.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? It's like, it just depends on how you like to live.
Right. But,
you know what I'm saying?
But that's why I'm saying, so it's only because we're talking about the gatekeeper thing, right? And I keep drawing back to this only because of how people utilize and how people receive music now. And I'm like, okay, Mr. EGOT is coming. What do we have to do to push Mr. EGOT and that everybody hears Mr. EGOT and his stories?
Do I want everybody to hear it or the people who want to hear it hear it? Now, I'm not a prostitute.
Okay.
You know, so I'm not finna prostitute myself. Like, now I'm not saying prostitute, but listen, think about this. I'm from Atlanta, right? Let's look at it in a record label form. Okay, we want all the street niggas from Atlanta. They seem like they have emotion. We go sign all the street niggas. We give them money. They buy guns, drugs. They shoot it out with each other. Then Fannie Willis come take them all off the street. Now where's our music? In prison. In jail. Now we can't hear no new music out of Atlanta. Because ain't nobody say, hold up. If y'all gonna do this, y'all can't do this. You get what I'm saying? So gatekeepers is good because, man, a nigga going and crash out and you end up losing everything if you don't have no control. If it ain't no brakes on the car, you're going to end up crashing eventually. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. It's like, yeah, you could say, yeah, they spinning their music. It's like, yeah, you spinning your music, but Kanye 40-some years old. He didn't crash out in the street. It's artists that, like Drake, is almost approaching 40. J. Cole, Kendrick, they're going to be legacy artists. They're going to be able to do that shit till they 70. It's certain artists you ain't going to want to hear from when they
I know
50. So yeah, you can consume it all now. Cool, but pace yourself, young man. Daniel's son.
All right, so let's talk about Mr. EGOT.
Yes.
Who is Mr. EGOT?
Mr. EGOT is someone who is multifaceted, someone who has a lot of different talents. So my goal growing up, I was just super into entertainment. I was, from music to living color to movies to sounds of music to cats to theater, whatever. So I kind of wanted to like combine that into my new, and my new endeavor as far as like going into film, going into theater. I wanted this to be the album that kind of showcase, what I'm going to be doing in the future. So the album is broken down into 4 parts. It's an Emmy section, Grammy section, Oscar and Tony section.
There we go. That's
So,
what. So for those of you who don't know, that's what an EGOT is.
Yeah, EGOT is the Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony. It's when you win all four.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I call this the stories of Mr. EGOT, because I am
Mr.
the Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony.
Okay, so from that album, we have Put That Shit On, my fave, Pusha T on there.
That's in the Emmy section
That's the
of my album.
section.
Yes.
What can we look forward to in the Tony section of the album?
Well, Tony is more like monologue, spoken word, freestyle expression, you know what I'm saying? A lot of bravado, you know what I mean? Like, so that's what's in that section of the album. The Oscar section is
It's
more drama-driven, storyline, feel like you listening to an emotion picture.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The Grammys is very grand and very musical. And then the Emmys is very like short stories, short topics.
Gotcha. So, who did you work with anybody on the album? Like besides, so like, do you have like guest appearances?
Yeah,
like
definitely have guest appearances. You know,
can we say some of them?
Yeah, you know, my family's on there. I like to work with my fam. Some of them I'm like working on clearances for, so that's kind of what be taking the album a little longer. But you know, I got 2 Chainz, I got Toby Nwimwe, we got Corday, we got Pusha, we got Ye, Ty Dolla,
Is
Pink
Pusha
Sweats.
on more than the one song? So besides Put That Shit On, is he on any other songs?
No, that's for him.
That's for him?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's Mr. Put That Shit On himself. So
Now the way you came in here, I don't know if he can only have that crown.
Right.
Because you got a lot of stuff on today, sir.
I mean, it's a light day.
It's a
man.
light day. It's not that light. You looking real chunky over there. I'm not going to hold you.
I had to do this because, I had this conversation like, niggas think conscious rappers is just broke. And no disrespect, but I'm just saying, that's what happens. Like, when I'm in Atlanta, you ask a kid, who you want to be, J. Cole or Future?
Oh, okay.
Out of 20 of them, 18 gonna say Future.
Okay.
They don't know why. They just like what Future kind of like his whole aura, and they feel like that's their form of success. Uh-huh. Not knowing J. Cole is rich as fuck.
And talented
as fuck, and selling out shows. Tyler is doing the same thing. Kendrick is doing the same thing. Like, but we don't publicize that like we would like, our, mainly like our urban rappers. And, because that's, our culture is, we grew up broke as fuck. You know what I'm saying? And the host's phone goes off after she tell us to do not
it's on do not disturb.
And all the cap.
It's on do not disturb, but when they keep going, when they keep calling, it goes off.
But when you say something pivotal like I just said, it rings.
Of course it does.
It rings throughout the culture. For sure.
It's on Do Not Disturb. I promise you. Look, you can see it. It's on Do Not Disturb.
But hey, when God calls,
when they keep calling, it'll come through.
It's gonna come through.
When it's in your favorites, it's gonna come through.
Absolutely.
Alrighty, so I apologize for my phone ringing,
no
guys.
Apologies.
that is not professional.
Sure.
But so, Mr. EGOT, let's get back to Mr.
Yes.
EGOT. So initially, when was this album supposed to come out?
Well, I started on it during the pandemic, like late pandemic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But there was something else that came out like in 2022. It was like an EP.
Yeah, that was like the EP. That was me introducing the label, my new label.
Wait, what's the name of the new label?
EGOT Records.
Ooh, and it's on Empire.
Well, I did this album with Empire, but I'm signing artists, producers, videographers, photographers, whatever type of creators, and we gonna move you to wherever you want to, wherever you want to be, but whoever wants you. You know what I mean? So that's why I created this new brand, and that's kind of just how I'm building it, and I want to be able to move further into entertainment, not just be like a rapper. Mm-hmm. I'm like the new Ice Cube.
There we go.
You know what I'm saying?
Is it important for you to pay it forward? In other words, like reach back and make sure that you're bringing other people with you, considering what happened before?
If they want to work, if they want to do something positive, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm not a hater.
I know. You can't be a hater if you create.
What Jay say? I don't hate on niggas who hate me. I got Pac on.
There we go. Well, do you So when you say that you want to start doing other things, are you developing shows, movies?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. Right now, I'm doing some screenwriting. I'm developing. I got like 3 scripts that I've written. That's just phenomenal. So I'm looking for a home for those. I'm doing a lot of short films and different things throughout my album and my videos that kind of showcase a lot of those different things. If you look at Mr. Put That Shit On,
With the Wizard of Oz?
yeah, that's come on, man. That Scarecrow got on damn near $100,000 of shit, and you don't see a logo nowhere.
There you go. That's how you got to do it.
Like ill shit. You know what I mean? So I think me just adding that, and I want to bring that back to my city and cities beyond my city, is just the creativity in music and not push our lifestyle so much. Because our lifestyle, we come from dangers. And, like labels be like, I remember when I came up, labels used to be like, man, why can't you get it popping yourself like all the other? I was like, hey. You think we signed a real estate? You think QC a real estate agent? You know what I'm saying? I just think Lil Baby came from a motherfucking dentist or something. No, this is from the mud. Niggas out here dying. You know how many Lil Babies is in prison trying to be Lil Baby?
But don't you think that's happening a lot now?
Yeah, that's everywhere.
Yeah, most record companies, they kind of want you to have your own, like...
Yeah, that's why they should get the RICO too.
Why they need to get a RICO?
No, I'm just saying, you like, the nigga who provided the gun, you know what I mean? If you gave me $500,000 to go buy some keys, and I go buy some keys and get caught one, you don't think you should have something to do with it too?
Yeah.
Yeah, so don't give it to them. Give them an opportunity.
Okay.
What I think what labels should do, labels listen. When you get drafted to the Oklahoma City Thunders, where do you live? In Oklahoma.
Right.
You don't live in your neighborhood where you came from with $100 million. So they should have to move to where the record label headquarters is.
Okay.
They should buy a house around the record label headquarters. The record label should provide security, should provide health care, should provide therapy.
Shout out to Nas.
Yeah, should provide a long-term deal. You get what I'm saying?
But that doesn't fall in line with their business structure because it's churn and burn.
Yeah.
Right? It's spin.
But they ain't making no money off rap. They ain't making no money no more. That's what I'm saying. You burnt yourself out. Turn and burnt.
Turn and burnt.
Now you want to make me swear, make me holler. Yeah, because you can't fuck with rap. Because she ain't going to get in the shootout. She ain't going to be in prison in 6 months. So let's sign her. Now where rap at now?
Well, where is rap now?
Yeah.
No, tell me. Where is rap now?
At the cemetery and in the county jail. I mean, you asked me where it's at.
I mean, yeah.
Where it's at?
That's where it is.
Where is it?
But we still have legacy rappers that are still here.
Hip hop.
We still have hip hop.
Yeah, hip hop is different.
Hip hop is different.
Rap and hip hop to me is 2 different things, but that's a whole nother conversation.
No, I would like to talk about that.
Oh yeah.
Why is rap different from hip hop?
I think hip hop is like the actual art form. Rap is the culture.
Is rap pop and is hip hop? So if we separate it, is rap the pop sector?
No,
and is hip hop the
yeah,
art
it
form?
is. Yeah, hip hop is the art form. The exploitation of hip hop is rap.
Huh.
Preach, pastor.
We need some sound effects for you.
Yeah.
We need the bombs.
Yeah, I told you an alien mutant was coming here.
I appreciate it.
For sure.
I like that you talking your talk.
Yeah, high level.
Very high level.
So that's the difference. Hip hop is the original art form. But no disrespect to white people. When they look at oh, he's sagging. Oh, you gotta be this. Oh, they from this neighborhood. So let's find the most authentic version of that. And guess what they go get? End up getting a whole gangster from a neighborhood that really ain't a rapper, but you feel like this is a so authentic version of it, and he gonna be authentic.
Do you think so? The other day, right? There was Dr. Umar was on the Joe Budden podcast.
Yes.
And he spoke about a couple things. There's 2 things that I want to ask you that he mentioned.
Come on with it.
But he said that, I don't want to misquote him. I should have wrote this down. But it was...
Paraphrasing.
Eminem can't be the top rapper because he's white. Do you think there's validity in that?
No.
Why not?
Because, yeah, oh, you're right. He can't be the top rapper because rap is the exploitation of hip hop. Eminem is hip hop.
Okay.
He's not rap.
He's not just rap.
He's not just rap. Let's just say that.
Okay.
His foundation is hip hop. See, it's like niggas who can read music and those who play by ear.
Mm-hmm.
Rap is playing by ear. Reading music is hip hop. He know how to read music. Now he may freestyle and play by ear a little bit, but he gonna stay in the parameters of what hip hop is. And I think Dr. Umar, he's thinking more of the culture of our art form versus the actual art form.
I think there's something to distinguish in terms of what he said. Because he's not saying that he can't rap or that he's a bad artist. He's just saying he can't be among the cream of the crop.
Yes, he can. He might be top 3 of all time.
Who's your top 3 of all time?
My top 3 is Jay-Z, Scarface, and probably Eminem.
Scarface had one of the best Tiny Desk.
Oh yeah, incredible. I mean, that's a mutant. That's a god. That's a demigod.
So wait, let's say that again. Jay-Z, Scarface, and who?
Eminem.
And Eminem.
Yeah.
Okay.
South, Midwest, New York. I cover all bases.
Cover all the bases.
Yeah, man. I'm a gumbo of this shit. For real.
Okay. So there was something else that he said.
What'd he say?
But we didn't really talk about this too much in depth, and I thought that we would. But in terms of us, right?
Us who?
Meaning black people.
Okay. Talk to me.
How do we gatekeep our culture? So we have tons of people that co-opt our culture. I don't necessarily think that Eminem is co-opting our culture, right? And I think maybe that, I don't want to put words in his mouth. Maybe that's what Dr. Umar may be getting at. But how do we make it so that our culture is exclusive and we don't just let anyone in and be able to use it to their whim and then just drop it whenever it no longer serves them?
Let me tell you something. That's what I think is hindering us.
What? Why?
The vibranium never runs out.
Okay.
Sometimes you can have too much vibranium. You got too much testosterone.
So in other words, we should be sharing.
Yeah. We are the creators of Earth. You know a white person is black. You know an Asian person is black.
When you say that we all originated from Africa.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean
people.
that they are black because they're not melanated.
I mean, black is a European term.
Right.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. You want to go, if you want to really get into this conversation.
Yeah, if you're just saying that we're all humans, I get that part. But we are, because of how we are socialized, it's not the same thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The European.
So we blame them.
Yeah. I mean, they developed the construct of what the world is now. But I see past the laws and society and what them folk put together. We respect what them folk put together. They got a little protocol to them because they had to add a little protocol. Fucking Hannibal marched through the Alps.
Yes.
You better add some protocol. We're going to be marching through the Alps.
Right. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Earlier.
So don't just gatekeep it. Spread it out. Interracial.
Why should we be spreading it out?
Turn the world black.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? Reason why you can get pulled over and 4 niggas in the car and a nigga get shot and don't nothing happen because it was 4 niggas in the car. But if you got your little white boy skater buddy in the back seat, no, you're not going to do that to my friends. They're going to give us a ticket.
Okay. So we
work together.
And using them for advocacy.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what our real goal is?
What is it?
It's another civilization that's thousands of light years away from us. That's studying us. You know why we can't get there? Because Germany got a mineral that Mexico need, that we need to add to our Tesla rockets that can take us through galaxies. But they can't share it with us. Wanna know why?
Why?
Because I'm Asian and you're German.
Okay. Gotcha.
But if in 20, 30 years, if the leader of Germany married an Asian, they may share that information.
Maybe. Maybe. Okay. Okay. So I think there was something that I wanted to ask you from before
Come on, talk
about
to
who
me.
you want. Who is the target audience for Mr. Egot's stories, or the story of Mr. Egot?
The world. Ain't no color, ain't no audience to it. The world is the audience.
But remember earlier you said that, I'm not a prostitute.
Yeah.
I don't need everybody.
Right.
But who do you want to receive?
Artists.
Not saying
People
that it
who
needs to be exclusive.
People who respect music, high level art. I can't. It's almost like, do you know why when you go to, let's say, the Knicks arena, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know why it's like predominantly like 95%, 90% white people there?
Yes, I know.
Partially it's because they got the money to go.
Right, because it's expensive.
But partially a 360 dunk don't flatter a nigga. My partner was doing 360 dunks in the driveway in the 9th grade.
Okay.
But if you go to St. Pius, a white neighborhood, them white kid can't do a 360 to save their life. So we want to go see a nigga do a 360.
Oh my God.
We want to go see LeBron jump from the free throw line.
Oh my God.
Ain't nobody in my high school could jump from the free throw line, but I guarantee the high school you went to, niggas is through the legs from the free throw line. He just sell dope now. Then Cameron and Mace was supposed to go to the NBA. But they rappers now. Because, the brick showed up in the neighborhood and kind of, you know what I'm saying? Hip hop showed up. The streets just, so it's like, we don't, like, my coach, I go to my shows and it's 90% white people. Why am I remember I first had a show at Brooklyn Bowl. When I first got...
Well, that whole area is kind of...
When I first got signed, I sold out show. 3,000-4,000 people. I got on my Tim's hoodie. I'm thinking, shit, it's about to be Brooklyn in here. Harlem, I'm thinking the Bronx.
But that area...
Queens. I come out on stage, I'm like...
Who are these people?
I'm trying to edit the word nigga out of my raps while I'm rapping. Because it's just... It's 3,000 white people looking at me. It's like, oh, okay. I got to kind of like... do this a little different. You know what I mean? Not saying I got to switch my whole shit up, but I can't just think that only niggas is listening to me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like...
Well, I didn't mean it that way.
Yeah, but
I meant because before we were saying, like, we don't want like fast consumption, right? We want people who appreciate it. So
Right.
that's why I was like, who is the ideal person to be listening to you?
Yeah, I mean, but what is a rapper gonna say to me about the streets that I ain't experienced myself?
Nothing.
What is he gonna say to him that he ain't? We all don't experience the dope, and we all don't experience everything a rapper's gonna rap about. The person who love you the most is the person who hasn't experienced it. They get to live it vicariously through the artist. Those people are people who didn't grow up in the dangerous environments that we live in. That's their version of like, they're like sonically skydiving. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's when white kids go to Travis show and go crazy and they running into each other. Woo, woo, woo. They doing that because that's how they get off. That's how they adrenaline rushing. Come on to the club I came to. You want to fight? It'll be one every weekend. A few of them. They ain't going there because it might be a shootout after that. All right, well, go to Travis show and fake the fight. It's called a what? A mosh pit. A fake fight. That's what it's called.
Do y'all know where the term mosh pit came from?
Nuh-uh.
So it actually came from Jamaica. Mm-hmm. So they weren't really saying mosh. They were saying like mash, but because people didn't understand the accent, they just turned it to mosh.
Mash pit. Oh,
mash. So like it's a mash. Mm-hmm. So it eventually.
All this shit. You know where this shit come from?
Yeah.
Well, they say the blues is the roots, everything else is the fruits.
There we go.
Is that Duke Ellington?
Yes.
I just look like this, chat.
So I just want to say that it has been a pleasure
Thank you for having me.
speaking to you.
Yeah, you
I've
asked some
learned so much.
great questions. Great questions.
Thank you. I hope you had a good time with me
Yeah,
too.
yeah. I like to say I'm the publicist for the culture.
I think so.
You know what I'm saying? I just explain it, in layman's so the world can really understand because this is hip hop is the new form of communication. You know what I'm saying? You can go all around the world and people don't speak English, but they can recite a song. You know what I mean? So we got to make sure we put vitamins. We got to make sure we put some substance in this McDonald's burger and not let McDonald's just come on with all the preservatives. So I'm not the preservative. I'm the what is the grass fed burger.
You're organic.
Yeah, this shit organic. This shit you can live off. You know what I mean?
It won't kill you. So before we go,
Yes.
The stories of Mr. EGOT.
The stories
coming,
of Mr. EGOT.
and then we have possible films and TV shows
Absolutely,
coming.
absolutely.
And then we also have songwriting for other people coming.
Anybody who want to work with Cyhi, man, hit me up, man.
Where
Cyhi.
should they hit you up?
Man, just Google me, Cyhi. I mean, I can't give all my,
Wait, what?
No, because I don't
No,
want...
I mean like your IG page and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
Cyhi. That's
Okay.
it. Cyhi.
So it's no more Cyhi the Prince. It's just Cyhi on IG. So if you're looking for him, you can probably find him there.
For sure.
And just Google him, and he is looking.
I'm Googleable.
He is.
You know what I'm saying?
He is looking for creatives out there. Because he is.
Hey, y'all know who I work with. I know everybody, man. You want your shit? Where you want your shit to go? You want your shit to go to Kendrick? I can hit Kendrick. You know, if you want shit to go to Ye, I can hit Ye. You want Drake? I got Drake. Where you want to go?
Where you want to go?
You know what I'm saying? Where you want to go, bro?
So, and he is the tree that whose branches touch everywhere. So.
You want Weekend? We know Weekend. What y'all talking about?
Okay, we're good.